Welcome back to my geography videos, everyone. Hi everyone, it's me Gaming Do, and today we are continuing forth with my reasons why states are unrated videos, as we are taking the I-80 route going east to west, as we are now going to tackle my neighboring state to the west, Pennsylvania. Now, if you don't know, Pennsylvania is probably my favorite state in the Northeast, just for, well, we'll get into that on this list. But it's a state I have a great place in my heart for many reasons, and you'll find out these reasons right now. So let's get into it. Top 10 reasons Pennsylvania is underrated. If you guys have known me for any period of time, you know that I am a foodie and I love food. I proved that on my previous list about New Jersey with Taylor ham and saltwater taffy. Well, Pennsylvania continues this trend for me as number 10 is going to be cheesesteak. So, I'm pretty sure 90% of you know what a cheesesteak is, but just on the off chance that you don't, it's sliced steak with generally cheese whiz. You can get other types of cheese on there, but cheese whiz and onions, and it's on a hoagie roll, and well, I go to heaven every time I eat one. I literally get these so much that I just get one from a pizza place, which I don't know if that's sacrilegious or not, but it's good enough to me, you know. It tastes good enough to me. And yeah, cheesesteaks are just heavenly. You can't go wrong with a good cheesesteak. Okay, I'll stop. Um, Rocky Balboa. What can I say? One of the most awesome movie franchises of all time. And, he's practically a part of Philly because, they got a statue of him in the city. That's how popular this character is, and I can't blame them because this movie franchise is freaking awesome. That first movie is probably... I've only recently seen these movies like this year, but I've only seen the first three and Creed 1. I know, I gotta get to the rest. But, Rocky is huge, especially in Philadelphia, in this state. And, if you want to know where Rocky began, basically, it was in Philadelphia, and that's where this great movie franchise comes from. And he's so popular that he has a very popular statue in the city of Philadelphia. Now, I can say, truly, Pennsylvania is a great state for sports teams. You got the Steelers, who have won 6 Super Bowls. You've got the Flyers, who have won 2 Stanley Cups. You've got the Penguins, who have won 5 Stanley Cups. You got the Eagles, who admittedly, I'm probably going to get shot for this, I don't like very much, but they won a Super Bowl. And you got the Phillies, who won 2 World Series. And yeah, this is a great state to be a sports team. Now, am I a particular fan of most of these teams? Not really. I'm a bit of a fan of the Phillies, kind of, but outside of that, I'm not really particularly a PA sports fan, but I'm just saying, it is a great state to be a sports fan, as they got many, 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 many successful teams, especially in Pittsburgh with the Penguins and the Steelers. You're going to have a great time as a sports fan in this state. I can't think about the Amish without thinking about that song from Weird Al. But, yeah, the Amish are interesting, to say the least. Pretty much a big area of southern Pennsylvania seems to be kind of, well, not kind of, they have the largest Amish population in the country. And it's interesting to see that there's still people who don't really use electronics or cars. They still use horse and buggies, and they rely on farming and making their own stuff. And in a way, that's kind of a good thing. Because people, maybe they should get a little, I don't know. Maybe they should get a little more into the modern world, but, the Amish are at a point where they're very self-reliant and stuff like that, and do a lot of stuff themselves, which is a good thing. And I like the Amish for that. It's really interesting, to say the least. Would I want to be Amish? Probably not, but it's interesting, to say the least. And I would like to visit some place that's Amish one day. That'd be pretty cool. Pennsylvania has not just one, but two major cities. You have Pittsburgh in the west, and Philadelphia in the east, and you've got some other pretty big cities. Not really huge like these two, but they're, cities with one being over 100,000 people with Allentown, and then you got Scranton and Harrisburg and York and stuff like that, but the two big cities in the state are by far Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Let's start with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is one of the most beautiful cities in the country. It's very hilly and mountainous, and it seems like it has a fair bit to do, and I heard it did depend on the steel industry a fair bit, so it's kind of a shell of its former self, but overall, I'm just gonna say it here, I think I prefer Pittsburgh over Philadelphia overall. I just get a better impression of that city. Not to say that Philadelphia is not... I don't know. I really do want to visit the city for its history especially. That'd just be awesome. And to try an authentic cheesesteak and just get that authentic Philly feel. I've been to New York City and Washington, D.C., so why don't I go to another northeastern major city? Well, Philadelphia kind of has some very bad areas, and I'm sure Pittsburgh has some bad areas too, but I think the bad areas of Philadelphia are a lot more popular and well known. And I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's the reason I've been avoiding it, rather than just I don't think my parents have any interest to go, but yeah. You want a state with major cities? Pennsylvania is probably one for you. It's not quite California or Texas or even New York to a degree, but it's still a state you should probably go to if you're a fan of major cities. Now, this was kind of something I had on my last list with Six Flags Great Adventure for New Jersey. Well, Pennsylvania is overall a much better state for theme parks than New Jersey, admittedly so. That's mainly because New Jersey just has one. I can think of three off the top of my head in Pennsylvania. You have got Hershey, which is my personal favorite. You've got Dorney, which I was this close to going to, but then a little something called COVID-19 happened and canceled. I was going to have two trips my senior year of high school. One was going to be, I think, a 4 or 5 day trip to Walt Disney World. And then we were going to go on a smaller picnic trip to Dorney Park. But of course, COVID came and ruined everything. That was fun. I was glad to be out of school and stuff like that, but I was damn well disappointed when I heard I couldn't go to those two theme parks. But anyways, And you also got one that's a little less well known, called Knoebels, which is cool. But I think Dorney and Hershey are better. So if you do want to go to a state for theme parks, I don't think this is going to be Florida or even its next door state, Ohio or California, but I don't think you're going to be disappointed by theme parks in Pennsylvania. Gettysburg. One of the best places in the state, in my opinion. Now, I'm going to go more in depth when I talk about another subject, but for now, I'm just going to talk about Gettysburg. Gettysburg, if you didn't know, is one of the most significant battles in the American Civil War. And when you go to Gettysburg Park, you basically go back in time. It's amazing. Just seeing the battlefields where many people lost their lives, and it's tragic but amazing to see at the same time. If you're a history buff and you've never been to Gettysburg, please go. Because I don't think your history adventure is complete without it. It's one of the most significant battles in the Civil War. I've been there once, and it was amazing. I went there about probably 10 years ago, but it was awesome. And then I went to this, I don't know if it was a diner, but it was a place called Gettysburg Eddie's. And it had some baseball player on it. I got a burger there. That is like a top 10 burger I have ever had. That was so good. But, anyways, that's not the reason you should go to Gettysburg. Well, maybe. You might enjoy it. But main reason to go is for the history. And if you're a history buff, just please go to Gettysburg. Now, please, don't ask me to get into any percentages, because that's not what it's about for me. But I have read this. Pennsylvania is the cheapest state in the Northeast. I know, it may be hard to believe because they got two major cities, but you look at states like its neighboring states, New Jersey and New York and even Maryland, they are a lot more expensive than Pennsylvania. And the New England states are a lot more expensive than Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure Pennsylvania is still in the top half for most expensive states. It might not be, but if you want to live somewhere cheap in the Northeast, I think this is your answer. Now, going to Philly or Pittsburgh is probably going to be slightly more expensive, but the facts don't lie. Pennsylvania is the cheapest state in the Northeast. Now, one thing Pennsylvania has going for it is its beauty. Oh my God, is this state gorgeous. Now, I know what we talked about with the Delaware Water Gap to start, that there was part of it in New Jersey. The big part of it is in Pennsylvania, and it is... Oh my God, it's like looking at a freaking postcard. It's so beautiful. But not only that, you've got the Allegheny Forest, you got the city of Pittsburgh itself, and honestly, the whole route along I-80 is just so beautiful. It's green, maybe not so much in the winter right now. Well, it's spring, but I don't think the leaves have quite come back yet, but when they do, holy freaking crap. This is one of the most beautiful states in the Northeast, and it's just... Looking at views in this state is it's like looking at a picture book. It's truly amazing. Okay. What did you think the number one most underrated thing about Pennsylvania is? I think it's going to be the state's history. Pennsylvania is one of two states that's older than my home state of New Jersey. The other one is Delaware, but This is up there with Massachusetts and Virginia for one of the most historically significant states in the country. This is where the signing of the Declaration of Independence happened. This is where the Liberty Bell is. Philadelphia in general is probably the most historical city in the country. As for like a major city, I don't know, Boston would probably have to argue with that, but I think Philadelphia gets the slight edge. So, I know I also talked about Gettysburg. That's a major place for history in the state. And, please, if you are a history buff, come to Pennsylvania. You can go to both, Philadelphia and Gettysburg, and many other places too, but those are the two major places for history in my mind. And the biggest reason why I think Pennsylvania is a very underrated state. A lot of people affiliate Pennsylvania with Philadelphia and stuff like that, which in and itself is a pretty good city with some pretty big flaws, honestly, but it's still a great state in my opinion, and one of, if not, my favorite state in the entire Northeast. Maine might have to argue with that, but if not, it's probably second place, and it's a state that I truly think is great and underrated. So that's about it, guys. I hope you guys like this list. I enjoyed making it. We have 2 of these videos down. So you may be asking, what's next? Well, if we follow the I-80 route, we're going into a new region with the next video, as we leave the Northeast and go into the Midwest, as we talk about the next state, Ohio. So I hope you guys look forward to that next week, and that's about it, guys. Gaming Do here. See you later. Bye.